Alrighty then. So as we come together today, this is Memorial Day weekend, and let's just take a minute as Jeannie and Wendy and Anna Marie and everyone reminded us at the beginning. Let's just take a minute here to express our gratitude for those who have suffered and died and made the supreme sacrifice so that we could be here today, that we could be together, that we could share ideas to encourage each other to grow. And we recognize that in this that we call the human experience, that sometimes life is a struggle. Sometimes there are seemingly ungodly things that happen, that we do to one another as human beings, man's inhumanity to man. But we step beyond that today. We step into the love that is God, into the peace that is God, into the joy that is God. We recognize that we are each and every one of us an individualized expression of the divine. Those who we love, those who we would call our enemies, that each and every one is an individualized expression of the divine, operating at the level of consciousness, the level of awareness, the level of emotional maturity, the level of wisdom and intuition and intelligence that we provide. Dr. Holmes tells us we provide the avenue through which the power moves. So while we can understand that in spirit, in the absolute, the divine is perfect, we also realize that because we human beings have not yet provided that perfect opening, that we do terrible things one to another. We recognize that those things are not necessary, that they are creations of the human mind, that they are creations of the human ego. They are creations of power and control and will. So the solution to war is the recognition of the presence and the activity of God. Not just a knowing intellectually, not just a saying, not just a singing about or writing about, but the actual experience of the presence and the activity of God, which is perfect peace. Spinoza tells us that peace is not the cessation of hostilities or the absence of war. It is a way of life, a way of being. So to honor those who have made the sacrifice for us, we renew our commitment to peace, to removing the cause of hostilities, which is a blockage in human consciousness. So we open our hearts and we open our minds now, and we release and let go of every and any idea of otherness, any and every idea of separation, any and every idea of a mixture of evil in our goodness. We recognize each and every other person on this planet as an expression of the divine, and we call to them at that level. As Holmes tells us, deep calls unto deep. We call to each other at the level of peace, at the level of love. We recognize the oneness. We recognize the beauty in the birth of a child, no matter where, no matter when, no matter what culture. We recognize that all children are beautiful. And we keep that sense of beauty as the child grows. And we release and let go of every and any idea that even those that we would call enemies are unworthy of love. So we establish peace in our own hearts, in our own consciousness. We extend that to each and every other one. We bless each and every soldier who has ever laid down his or her life for our freedom. We bless their families in their suffering. And we recognize that there is a truth higher than this, that in the eternal, nothing dies, for God is life. And that ultimately, over time, as consciousness evolves, we will beat our swords into plowshares and we will live in harmony. And we know that those who have gone before us still live in another dimension, in another place, and all is well. We are grateful for this opportunity to be together today, to love each other, to encourage each other in thinking about God and in our spiritual growth, which is the answer to the problem. We release this treatment, this prayer now to that power that responds to us according to our belief. We release it knowing so certainly that it is done, that we say together, and so it is. Alrighty, everyone, I'm going to get a sip of water.